this guy right here with his backpack and a purse and all kinds of shit. It keeps loitering on my property. This is the 4th time I've seen him, but I was at the other end the last 3 times, and I couldn't record him because I was pushing the mower. But yeah, this guy is really acting bizarre. Looking around up in everything. Anyway, this is showing a pattern of people basically patrolling around my property, loitering around, walking. Now it's acting really weird, but they usually look shady, like they're up to something, like this guy's behaving. A lot of times they'll try to say something to you. It's best just to ignore them. I don't speak to them because they'll try to start a fight with you. It's a little frame deal with organized policing. What they'll do is send those people, shady people, around to do things while you're outside working. Like, for example, I had a strung out lady come up to my property after I got through picking up trash to mow my yard, pick the trash up first, and she came right in the middle of my yard and was eating something. I think it was like chips or something. Got through eating it. For one, she was trespassing. For two, they knew I was cleaning my yard up. Doing upkeep on my property, cleaning trash up. Wow, that light's weird on that car. You only see that through the camera. But at any rate, they knew, the organized harassment program knew I was out here picking up trash because they have got me under surveillance. They sent this girl to come onto my property, eating her food, her chips and a candy bar. She was even pulling stuff out of her pocket to throw it, trash out of her pocket. She threw the sack of chip trash right in the middle of my yard. There goes the car that said sheriff on it. And she threw it in the middle of my yard while I was standing there sweating from cleaning up my yard. Walked right in the middle of my yard right there and threw her trash down. So they'll often have these people do something really rude and even against the law to provoke an attack. So you will go into attack mode. And when you go into attack mode, the police gets called, and the police side with the perpetrator, because the police sent the perpetrator. It was all a set-up deal. So the thing is, whenever I see them walking down the street like this, walking around my property, I just don't say anything to them. Now, if they're on my property, which has happened many times, another deal. A guy with trash. I come home from the doctor's office. They knew I would be driving down the street because they were following me. And they planted this guy, inserted this guy to pretend like he was crazy and drugged out. Well, he was sitting right around the corner there. And I seen him driving down the street, pulled up and parked right here. But he had like 7 or 8 pizzas, boxes of pizza. And he was sitting, and he had trash in a plastic container of trash that had blood and gauze and all kinds of disgusting shit. I don't know what all was in there because I had to call the city and hazard control to come pick it up. But they planted him here, so whenever I came home, and he threw trash all over my yard right over here. He was throwing trash and playing in trash, and I took a closer look at my camera later. Guy was real clean cut. Didn't look like he was on drugs. He was pretending to be crazy or on drugs. Had a nice gold watch, some new tennis shoes, and he didn't come off as what he was portraying to be. He was portraying to be a drunk or an alcoholic, drug addict, homeless person wearing a gold watch and new tennis shoes and acted crazy. It was all a performance, and he was sitting here. He was sitting here to do that. So this is a pattern. It's a continual pattern. Every time I come out my door, I'm being forced to sell this place, like I have been the last 2 properties I bought in this state. And this started as soon as I purchased a property, paid in full, with money legitimately collected from a car accident that almost killed me. So they settled out. Look at that bird. They settled out with me. And that gave me money to purchase a 4.6 acres of land and a house north of Collinsville on 176th Street North. As soon as I bought that house, man, people were coming in and out just like they are here, loitering, walking up, cutting my clothes up. They would go inside that house out there and they would tear my underwear up and cut the crotches out of my jeans. I mean, just real crazy, freaky, scary things. I wasn't aware of organized harassment. I wasn't aware of forfeiture laws, where the police, if they can insert you in a crime or accuse you of a crime, they can, take your house or your shop or everything you own, your car, everything. So this is the motivating factor, is money, and it's government money. And that house, that first house that I paid cash for, was actually a government house. It was a head home, repossession, and I paid cash for it and got a good deal on it. So I was on the list of government properties that were paid for free and clear. And I've done a lot of research on this, the laws when it comes to civil forfeiture laws, when it comes to real estate and stuff, because I knew I wasn't committing any crimes, but I knew I was being framed for crimes that I didn't commit, that I wasn't committing. I found drugs. Well, it appeared to be drugs. I didn't test it or anything, but when I seen it, I threw it in the trash to burn, like my attorney told me to. But I knew I had federal agents all over me, and I was scared for my life, and I realized I was being drugged and poisoned as well, which made me my behavior really erratic on top of it. So all the things that they were doing to me was like tenfold in, fear, danger. I was driving my car around and didn't realize I was being slow dose poisoned, drugged, to where they could frame me. They plant drugs in my property, then they come in my property and drug my food and beverage, slow dosing to a point to where I exploded. I wasn't aware I was being drugged. I knew I didn't feel well a lot, but I just kind of chalked that up to drinking and partying too much. So I don't party anymore. I don't drink anymore. So I have to stay completely coherent to where I know if there's any changes in myself, because I was not seeing them before. I was probably drinking, every 2 to 3 days. I would drink quite a bit, and that was pretty often. So I never really recovered from alcohol. I was constantly hungover, feeling bad, tired, and intoxicated, if not just straight out intoxicated. So I decided, there's something going on here that I'm not catching. And I realized whenever I had law enforcement, unmarked cars following me everywhere I went. And then I realized, wow, I'm really feeling out of it. I mean, to the extent of hospitalization. So I went to the hospital and turned myself to the hospital. And they told me I needed to get off the drugs. And I wasn't using drugs. And they said I had high levels of drugs in my system, and that I needed to get rehabilitated, that I needed to go to rehab. So that's whenever I moved in with my dad, and I sobered up and did some reevaluation for about a year with my dad at my dad's property. I stayed with him because I was in fear for my safety. Okay, so I was an alcoholic. I started drinking again and sold that house and bought this house, and lo and behold, it all started beginning again. It started happening again. And so I decided to quit drinking in 2017, 18, 19, 20, 5 going on 6 years. I've been sober, which is a blessing. It's a blessing, and it's straightened me up. It's the only thing good that's came out of it. But the thing is today's the 4th of July. I'm not going to be able to spend time with family and friends because I can't leave my house to even go to the grocery store without things being stolen, food being tampered with, dying pets. I've had 2 dogs dying whenever I've returned home after leaving them unattended in their house after being gone for the afternoon. And I have a kitty cat in there. I worry about her when I go to the grocery store. This is organized harassment, and what it is they pretty much push you out of your house. They all the neighborhoods that participate aggravate, harass, honk, noise campaigns, slander campaigns. They spread. This guy over here, this barber shop across the street, the woman that worked in the medical here on the end, told me that he was spreading rumors saying that the feds were busting my house for drug dealing, which none of it was true. I don't know what's being said about me now, but I know that law enforcement does not respond to theft calls, burglary calls, unlawful entries into my car, vandalism to my car being torn apart. I mean, they've torn this car up. So none of this is being reported. I mean, none of this is being responded to after I report it. Alarm systems, useless. Cameras, they've destroyed all my cameras. They came in and stole the DVR for my cameras, the one that the system that operates the cameras is gone. They just straight up stole it. Let's see, my bench. I had a red bench that I've had since 2006, a cast iron bench set out in my yard. Never had any problem with it since 2006. Okay? The other day, they just came and stole the damn bench that I sit in when I usually sit in whenever I work in my yard. Now I'm sitting in my car because it's much cooler. I should have thought of that before. But anyway, it's just organized harassment, and it's often done for many reasons. You piss somebody off that is close to the police, that donates to the police, that somebody that knows somebody. And for my situation, it was an electrician that I hired to work here on a room that I was having built. They sabotage that. They sabotage everything. They listen to all your phone calls, all your text messages, and they even go a step further than that. They contact everybody on your friends list. And here's this guy again. Here's this guy again. Okay, so this guy keeps walking around my house. I'm getting ready to put my stuff up and go in and call it a day. I mowed this half to the left, and I've got to the right to go, and by the sidewalk. I got half of the side done here. I'm on disability, and my knees are inflamed right now. I can barely walk from trying to pushing that mower. So I got to get off of it, or I won't be able to get off of it. I'll be in the bed stricken if I don't. Anyway, this is a pattern. It's harassment, and it's unconstitutional. It's oppressing. It's depressing. It's oppressing, to where the victim feels like, I got to stay and watch my pets. I've got to stay and, guard my house. I got to guard my belongings. I can't go to watch fireworks. I can't go to the lake. I can't. And not only that, your friends, they abandon you. They don't want you to attend their get-togethers. Because, again, these people contact all your friends. Everybody on your contact list, in your phone, anybody that you're in touch with, they contact them. If you make a new friend, and the friend's a new relationship with somebody, it'll be going great at first, and then suddenly it will get weird. Their behavior will get weird. They'll start accusing you of things and trying to make it look like you're committing crimes against them. Like, say you assaulted them or something. So they let it be known that everybody can be bought. There's a price for everyone. So if you have an acquaintance that you hang out with and you play cards with or whatever, or if you make an acquaintance, that person will turn on you. That person will turn on you because there's somebody playing puppet master on the other side of you, on the other side of everything to do with you, whether it be your job, your doctor's office. Okay, these people are contacting your doctors, your medical care. This is the government doing this. This is a government program. And they are behind all of it. They're operating it through the fusion centers. And more likely than not, you've been placed on a terrorist watch list that is completely hidden, and it operates in secrecy due to the fact of after 9/11, the attacks on 9/11, they created the Patriot Act, which is absolutely 100% ran in secrecy against what they're calling it a perpetrator, but what in most cases is actually the victim. They've been put on the list, and they are generating thousands and thousands of dollars. These people are getting paid to walk by and act weird and throw trash in your yard, to camp out on your lawn, basically, and start fights with you. They are getting paid to do this because you have been deemed a enemy of the state, a terrorist threat, and they're going around telling all these people that are in on the community policing programs, and they police you. But they go further than that. You're not just under surveillance. You're the target of crime, felonies, serious felonies, hit and run. I was almost ran down in my driveway by my local fire department. Okay, fire department, they'll follow you around. They've got you on location. So you're the Pokemon of the enemy. The enemy of the Pokemon procedure is how it operates. It runs the same way as that game. Except for you're the one that's on the network, and all these people that are policing you are on the network. And whatever location you're in, they get notified that that's where you are. You are close near to this person. Do what you want to them. Run them off the road. Run them over. They're the enemy of the state. The murders that happen behind this go unsolved because they're not investigating them. They're not investigating them because they are organizing them. Okay? It sounds very bizarre. It is bizarre. This is not the land that the country that we all have grown up to think that it is. And the only way one would know the difference is if they were targeted in this program, like thousands and thousands of people are complaining and recording and videoing all of these crimes being committed against them. They understand the program very well. They're trying to explain this program to somebody that has not been targeted with the program or that doesn't participate in the policing part of the program, like your family or some of your friends. They're not going to understand it, and it's going to sound bizarre. It's going to sound unrealistic. It's going to sound delusional. Okay, so that's where recording comes in. That's where you can't walk out your door out into this society if you are targeted in this program without a camera. The second you walk without a camera, you're going to end up in jail. They're going to frame you for something if you do not record every damn thing that you do outside of your house. And record everything that the perpetrators can deploy against you. And you get that evidence, and how you know law enforcement is absolutely, without a doubt, involved. Not only involved, but they are organizing this. It's because when you call them with complaints, and you file complaints, and you hear no investigations, not even a return phone call, and when you're stating that you have video evidence of these crimes, I've got it on video. Here's the crime that's been committed against me. Okay? They don't care. There is zero investigation done to the victim of these crimes. That is orchestrated through community policing, through the Department of Homeland Security, through the Department of Justice, through the Department of the CIA programs. It is real. It is not delusional. It is unconstitutional. And many people are being murdered under this program. And a lot of money is changing hands. The people that perpetrate, that do the dirty work, those people get paid. They don't have to pay mortgages. Some of their mortgages get paid. Some of them get new cars. It's kind of like the movie Needful Things by Stephen King, where the guy that's running the secondhand store pits everybody against each other by the things that they need, that they want. He's got a store, and he knows what those people need. He knows what their void is. He knows what will make them feel special or better about themselves, what he sells in his little store, because he's actually the devil in this movie. He's actually Satan, and he's turning an entire town against each other by giving the kid the baseball cards that he wanted. But in exchange, you can have these baseball cards, little boy, but you have to go throw apples through Mrs. Smith's windows. Bust all the windows out of her house. It's a movie, and it's horrible. But it reminds me so much of how this program works. These people investigate you. They investigate everyone around you, and they look for what they need, where they're weak, where their weakest link is, and then they provide that in exchange for brutality against you. It's an evil world that we're living in, and I would have to say every bit of this is written in the Bible. Every bit of this. Okay, this was done to Jesus Christ himself. And by no means would I ever compare myself to Jesus, our Lord, our Savior, Jesus Christ. But Jesus Christ was targeted by a government, and he was put on a cross to die. And all the townspeople gathered and watched as he was murdered, as God's Son was murdered. The townspeople followed their government. They threw the stones, and they all stood there and watched him hang to death. So, people that want to gaslight this, want to discredit and devalue and diagnose the victims of these heinous, illegal government crimes, you know what? Either you're very stupid or you're ignorant. You're stupid if you know about it and you just watch. You're really stupid if you participate. You're ignorant if you just don't understand and you don't know. You've never heard anybody complain of this, or you haven't read any history books like Stasi Germany government programs, which is exactly where this program began. This is exactly where it began. We are seeing evidence of genocide in our country today. COVID, hello, genocide. Okay, these programs, genocide. These people that end up dead or just disappeared. All these children that are just disappearing, and they're never to be seen or heard of again. It would be quite astonishing to learn how many government officials are actually behind these things. Anyway, happy 4th of July. This is Stephanie. I'm going to pick this stuff up, go in, get in the cool, and maybe do some grocery shopping here in a little bit. Have a great day.